So now let's move ahead and look at some more important topics of CSS, like comments and fonts. So in this video basically we are going to see what are comments and how can we add fonts. Okay, so first of all let's see how can we add comments in our CSS file. So I have came to styles.css. Now right now if I have to add some line which should not be displayed in the browser, okay, but it will be helpful for the for documenting our source code. Okay, so suppose I'll add this line. This is a single line comment. Okay, so this is a single line comment. So this kind of comment is will basically we will put in a single line only. So if we have to put this kind of comment, what we will do is we will put a slash and an asterisk sign at the starting of the sentence and at the end of the sentence. Similarly, if we have to write a multiple line comment, then this is a multi line. Okay, so this is a multi line comment. Now if I have to comment all these lines together, then what can I do is I can put this kind of slash star at the front of this and at the end of this whole like all the lines. Another way is we can directly select all these lines which we want to comment out, and we can simply press control slash. Okay, so I'll tell you which slash. So you have to press control plus this slash. So once you press that, then that line will be commented. So in this way there are two ways in which we can comment out the code in CSS. One is a single line comment and the other one is a multi-line comment. Now let's move ahead with our second topic, which are fonts. So in fonts basically we are going to discuss all these topics. Okay, like what is font family, what is meant by font stack, and web safe fonts, what are like web safe fonts and what are web fonts, and how can we import different fonts from the internet, and some properties of fonts like line height, font weight, and font style. Before moving on to that, let's understand why understanding fonts is important. So font is like choosing the right font for your website is very important, because font has a huge impact on how the readers experience a website. Okay, so there are some generic font families like serif, sans serifs, monospace, cursive, fantasy. So all these are like 99% available in all the operating systems and the web browsers. So let's understand it one by one. First of all, I am having this HTML file. Right now I have not written anything. So let's create a head1 tag, and after that let's create a P. So in the head1 I am writing fonts tutorial, and in the P I am going to write let's learn fonts. Okay, let's learn different fonts. So this is the basic code that we have in the styles.css. Currently we do not have anything. So let's move on to our web browser and refresh the page so you can see. So fonts tutorial, let's learn different fonts. Right now no CSS is applied. Let's take all the things one by one. So first let's look at what is font family. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the size so that it will be clearly visible for you. So I'm going to select this. So let's give it a ID, or directly what we can do is we can apply font on the entire page itself. So I'm going to write body and font family. Okay, and so you can see that there are different font families you can see right now. This way of writing multiple fonts, right? So first you can see there is this single font called as Franklin Gothic Medium. Then after that another font is written Arial Narrow. So why we have written multiple fonts when we can write only single one? Okay, so for now let's remove all the remaining three and let's save, and let's see whether it has changed anything or not. So once I refresh it, you can see the font is now applied to it. Okay, this brings us to the next question, which is like, why do we need all these remaining fonts if our work is done with the first font itself, right? So there is some concept of web safe fonts. So you must be aware about this concept because it is a very important. So web safe fonts are the fonts that are universally installed across all the browsers and devices. So I told you some of the fonts like serif, sans serif, and these are some of the common fonts that are available over all the browsers and all the devices in all the operating systems. So it might happen that suppose you have written your website with using this Franklin Gothic medium. Now the reader or the user does not have this installed on their web browser or in the operating system. They do not have it available, so they might not be able to read your content. Okay, so for that purpose we have given an optional other font, that is, if this is not available, then please make sure that this is applied, and if this is also not available, make sure to apply Arial, and if Arial is not available, then make sure to apply sans serif. So we have applied sans serif at the last, because sans serif is all like 99% it is always available in all the systems. So that is why we have applied these all fonts. So right now when we will see that there will be no changes, because the first font that we have applied is already present in our browser, so that is why it is being applied. Now, so we have seen what are web safe fonts. So we have seen what is font family. So now this brings us to this topic, that is font stack. What is font stack now? So this way of applying multiple fonts to the font in the font family is called as font stack, because we are creating a kind of font stack over here wherein we are applying multiple fonts one after the other. So this is only called as font stack. We have seen what are what are web safe fonts. Now let's understand about web fonts. Now there is a slight difference between web fonts, because web fonts are the one which we import from the internet. So let's now see how can we import different fonts from Google. So I'm going to go in my browser and I'm going to write Google fonts. So once I open the first link, you can see that there are different fonts that are available from Google. You can take any font as per your like choice. So I'm going to take one from it. So I'm going to take this one. So once I open it, you can see there are different variations, like how much thin you want, or if you want a thick one, which one you want, you can take according to it. I'm going to take this one, the thickest one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. So once it is selected, you can see that this link will be presented to you. So what you need to do is you need to apply this link, and also you need to apply this CSS rules. So let's take one by one. So first of all, I'm going to copy this link. Once this is copied, I'm going to go into my index.html, and just before the head tag ends, I'm going to apply this link. So once I save it, these links are now applied, but I have not applied the fonts yet. So I also have to copy this CSS rules. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm again going to go into my CSS section, and I'm going to apply this. So for now, I'm going to remove this font family, because we don't want to apply this, we want to apply these fonts. So now let's save and go back to the browser and see whether the font is applied or not. So you can see that the font is now applied, okay, and it is thick, so that is why it is bold. So this is how we can apply different fonts from the Google. We can import different fonts from Google, and this is a very helpful approach. Next is font size. So let's see what is font size property. So font size, so you can keep any font size. Suppose if I keep the font size as 20 pixel, and let's go to the browser and refresh it. So you can see that the font is now increased. Okay, so according to the size that you want, you can even mention the size of your font. Next is line height. So line height and font weight. Okay, so let's give the line height. So line height, okay, so line height I'm going to apply on this second one, that is the paragraph tag. Okay, let's apply here only line height as 2 em. So you can see that the line height is now applied, and this is a little bit, there is a little gap in between both of them, right? So this is what about line height. Next is our font weight and font style. So let's apply font weight. So this is already bold as of now. So let's try to put lighter font weight. So lighter will not be applied because we have already taken a font which is bold, right? So instead of this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another one. So okay, so because we have applied font, so you understand, right? So suppose if you want a font to be bold, you can apply this, but since our font is already bold, we cannot see any difference over here, but you understand the concept, right? The last is font style. So there are different font styles like italic and others. So if you want to apply that on our font, we can make use of font style. So I'm going to write font style. Now there are different font styles like italic, normal, oblique, inherit. So I'm going to apply italic font style, and let's see how it is getting reflected. So so italic is not getting applied, maybe because what happens is we have taken the fonts from Google, right? Now for now let's remove this styles, because there are some inbuilt styles which overwrite the styles that we have taken. So that is why it might happen that fonts are, the styles are not getting applied. So now you can see that it is now italic, because I have removed the imports from Google. I have taken the normal fonts, so it is now in italic. So these are different properties of fonts, like font family, font stack, web safe fonts, importing the fonts from Google, and some what is meant by font size, line height, font weight, and font style. So these all are the properties that you need to know in order to understand this topic of fonts. So now we will see you in next video. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so to see more such videos. Thanks for watching the video.